Yo, what's good? What's good? I'm back. Paul Pickett, Promo Palace LLC. This is vlog 26, and I'm going to title this one, Why You Should Let FM Radio and Big Blogs Come to You. Vlog 26, Why You Should Let FM Radio and Big Blogs Come to You. Once again, hit that subscribe button before we get started. And that click now button in the bottom right-hand corner if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Facebook or Instagram and you see the video, please hit that follow. Don't forget the audio version of my vlogs also goes to my podcast, the Paul Pickett Podcast, which is also on Spotify, Apple, Deezer, Amazon, TuneIn, Slacker, iHeartRadio, and a dozen other platforms. You can Google Paul Pickett Podcast. All right, let's get into it. Why you should let FM radio and big blogs come to you. All right, first of all, FM radio. No artist is breaking themselves on FM radio nowadays. Like, not no artist that's, up and coming or unsigned. They're not. If you could take $50,000 and pay somebody for an FM radio campaign, you are not going to break yourself. You're not going to get enough traction to get the proper play that you need in prime time. You're not going to get as much radio play as all the people that are dominating prime time, even if you paid somebody $50,000 to work your record. I don't mean payola. I mean you pay an actual radio marketing company to work your record, right? Like, yeah, they'll get pickups, they'll get plays, but unless that song gets a ton of requests, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, a shit ton of requests, you're not going to get massive airplay in prime time. You'll get some prime time spins maybe here and there, but you'll get one here, one there, and then you might get some later time spins, but, you might get 4 or 5 spins in prime time, but you're not, like, they're not going to be playing your joint back to back like when they playing Drake songs and whoever else. Like when Ja Rule was dominating radio back in the days and T-Pain would dominate radio, man, their songs were playing back to 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 back. So you could pay whoever you want to work FM radio. You could pay whoever you want. You're not going to break yourself as an artist. You can't build fan base through FM radio because you can't engage with fans. The way you build fan base nowadays is you engage with fans. You can't just take a street team at FM radio and break an artist nowadays. And you ain't street teaming nowadays anyways. Like COVID has shut down street teaming, shut down or limited street teaming. And ain't nobody broke a new artist on FM radio in a long time. Last artist I remember that, even like Fetty Wap was already popping on Spotify, when his song was hitting on radio, So like you got to be popping somewhere else to pop on FM radio first. That's how it works. You got to be popping somewhere else first to pop on FM radio. Somewhere else. Spotify something, you know what I'm saying? Spotify, YouTube something, and even that might not work, So this idea that you're going to take any kind of money and go to FM radio and make yourself pop and build a lot of fan base and break your song and break the artist, it's not happening, man. Maybe at one point in history, but not today. Not today when most people are breaking themselves online, period. Online or touring. And touring has been limited because of COVID. People still ain't touring heavily. They're just, you go to everybody's show schedules. They got like one show on their schedule. People still ain't touring heavy because there's still a lot of places that are still have COVID restrictions. So you're not going to FM radio. So it makes sense to just get to work, build fan base, get your stuff popping, and let FM radio come to you. Because if you think you're going to take any kind of money to FM radio and make yourself pop, it's fairy tale, it's imaginary, it's made up, it's bogus, it's make-believe. It's no more realer than Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. Nobody's doing it. It hasn't been done for a long time because FM radio doesn't care about unsigned artists. They only care about popular artists. That's why we did the vlog, why local radio stations don't support local artists. Because you're not popular enough. You don't bring enough listeners to the station. It's not all about you. It's about what do you bring to the table as well. And just bring a hot song doesn't bring listeners to the table if you don't already got a ton of listeners rushing to go hear your music. If you don't already got massive fan base in place, you're not bringing listeners to FM radio. And you bringing 3 or 4 or 5 listeners ain't bringing nothing to FM radio. You're not bringing hundreds of thousands of listeners to FM radio. You're not doing nothing for FM radio. They're an advertising platform. They're not a free promotion platform. They're an advertising platform. It's not the free promotion spot. You know, they're going to play popular music because popular music brings listeners. So FM radio, let it come to you. Big blogs. You could take all the money in the world and you could pay to get on all the top blogs. You still ain't going to break your record, and you still ain't going to be popping and build fan base at the end of the day. Not like you think you will. You know why? Because you didn't let the blogs come to you. If you got to, if anything, if you're going to, people already got the wrong ideas of how they go at the blogs anyways. They're just trying to pay to get on the blogs. That's not what you do. You don't pay to get on the blogs. You advertise. No matter where you go, you advertise. You advertise. Don't care where you go. You don't just pay to get on places. You advertise. You pay for advertising. You know, if you go to Facebook, yeah, you could pay influencers to do things, but you advertise too. You know, this idea that one post is going to break you is bogus. Fairy tale, make-believe, imaginary, made up BS. It's no more real than the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus. One post ain't going to do it. You're not going to break yourself with just one post. So unless you're willing to pay all the top blogs to constantly put all your content, every single content on there, you're not going to break yourself on no blogs. You got to constantly put out content, and you got to pay to have all your content featured, not just posted, but featured on the top blog. So it just makes more sense to just advertise with blogs, and then they'll post your content. Now, if you're an artist now I don't have a problem with artists paying like somebody to get you on like a bunch of smaller blogs just for SEO purposes. You know what I'm saying? Just for SEO purposes. Because blogs, like smaller blogs, are really just for SEO purposes. Because smaller blogs got smaller traffic, you know? So this idea that you're going to get a ton of traffic on small blogs, no, you get a ton of traffic on the big blogs. Big traffic on big blogs, small traffic on small blogs. The smaller the blog, the more it is just for SEO purposes, just for page rank and just for Google purposes. When people search out your name, you want to have a lot of content. It's for content purposes. That's the thing. Everything isn't just for building a ton of fan base. Some things are just for content creation. You know what I'm saying? Because the more content you have, the better. You know? And so yeah, you're not gonna just, you could take whatever budget you want, you could take your single, and you can have all the top blogs posted at once. I guarantee you won't break yourself as an artist. You won't be popping. Because you still gotta compete with the popular artists on the blogs, which bring the popular artists are bringing all the viewers. This idea that there's a large fan base out there that likes underground music is bogus. There's a small portion of music fans that are digging and searching in the crates, as we call it, digging in the crates. If you're an unsigned artist, you are underground. No matter what genre you are, you're an underground artist. This idea that the majority of music fans prefer underground over popular music is false. It's bogus. Most music fans prefer popular music. It's only a small portion of people who appreciate underground artists, which are unsigned artists. I'm sorry, that's just the way it was. Like, most music fans don't just listen to all unsigned artists. I haven't heard of one music fan that only listens to unsigned artists. They might not listen to mainstream. So if they don't listen to mainstream, you know what it means they listen to? Major independents or major underground artists. Like the Joey Badasses of the world or the Royce the 5'9" of the world. And even an unsigned artist isn't competing with the top tier major independents or major underground artists like the Joey Badasses and the Joel Ortizes or the Griseldas or the Benny Butchers of the world. You're not competing with no artists until you have fan base. That's what you have to understand. No matter how dope your song is, how good it is, until you have fan base, you're not competing with the artists that have fan base. That's how it works. They have consumers and you don't. This idea that your song is so hot that you're just going to outdo Drake when you have no fan base, it's fairy tale, imaginary, bogus, made up. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. So, you should let the blogs come to all the top blogs come to you. Just, you could pay, if you got a smaller budget, even if you got a big budget, take your big budget and pay to get on the small blogs or advertise on the big blogs. But you don't pay to just get a post on the blogs. Because once again, we're talking about, okay, Spotify's got 60,000 songs being uploaded, per day. You think blogs, how many posts you think blogs are posting per day? A lot. A lot of content. They're posting a lot of popular content. Mainly, 99% of blog content is popular content. Popular artists. And even the big influencers, like the top tier influencers. I'm going to go ahead and add that. Top tier influencers. Most artists ain't typically got a budget for top tier influencers. Like, you got somebody like, for example, like Real World Vicky getting, $4,000 to $5,000 a post. There ain't no unsigned artist that's going to go to Real World Vicky unless you're her best friend and get your music promoted for free. So unless you got $5,000, it's best you just get your music popular, and influencers like that, the only music they're promoting for free is popular music. All the small, but see, that's the thing. Even the influencers, you're going to have to pay influencers regardless. Whether they're big or small, it's almost something that you really can't even, go around. But like, I'm not, like Jason Derulo, you're never really going to have the budget for Jason Derulo to post your music unless you got $75,000, And if I got 75,000 racks that I could give to promotions, hell yeah, I would give Jason Derulo $75,000 to promote my music. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I would. But unless you got that, the only other option is get your music popping, build a ton of fans, and once your music's popular, Jason Derulo is going to take popular songs, and those are going to get free promotion. Because, that's how it works with influencers. Popular music ain't necessarily paying, and top influencers are going to take the popular music and promote it because it's popular. And it's the smart thing to do, because most influencers, all influencers got big on TikTok by promoting popular music. There's no influencer on TikTok that got big by solely promoting only unsigned music. It's not happening. Bogus, fairy tale, made up, imaginary, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny. It's not happening. Every influencer has to have popular music on TikTok, Triller, whatever it is. If an Instagram influencer is using, if they're promoting, if like say they're taking their TikTok post and they're promoting it to their TikTok, and that's how they're building their Instagram. Guess what? They're using a lot of popular music and mainly popular music. And yeah, they might have unsigned artist music on there. You know why? Because the unsigned artists are paying them to promote it. They're paying to promote it. While the popular music is being promoted for free because everybody promotes everybody's promoting the popular music. FM radio's doing popular, top blogs, top influencers, Spotify's top playlists, Apple's top. Everybody's promoting popular music, mainly. And then you still sprinkle a little bit of unsigned and up and coming. Sprinkle a little bit. And if it's dealing with influencers, 9 times out of 10, if it's unsigned artists, they're paying for that influencer to promote that music. Why? All the popular artists are not paying because popular music bring listeners. They bring the fan base. No influencers getting popping without popular music. No Spotify playlist is getting popping without popular music. No FM radio station is getting popping without popular music. But you know what they are getting popping without? Unsigned artist music. They don't need this idea that FM radio, Spotify's top playlist, all the top influencers and all the top blogs need unsigned artists is bogus, made up, fairy tale, imaginary. It's not even realistic. They don't need it. Because as long as there's popular music, they'll be popping. They'll be good to go. They just sprinkle a little bit of unsigned artists in there. That's all they do. So stop thinking that these top platforms need unsigned artist music. No, they don't. They might want it, but don't think they need it. So, and if you don't understand the difference between wants and needs, I think I might have to do a whole breakdown of vlogs on wants versus needs. You know, I broke this down with advertising, like spamming, artist spamming, unsigned artists, music period. They don't, is not a necessity to everybody's life. There's so many other forms of entertainment that they could go to. If you're not spamming something that people need opposed to what they want, it's not going to work. You spam only works when people need it. You know, like if I spam artists music promo, guess what? I'm going to get clients because every artist needs music promo. Screw what you want. Screw what you want. You need it. You need it. Because there's no musician making it without promoting their music. And if you think somebody is, fairy tales, imaginary, made up BS. Facts don't care about feelings, man. You got to live in reality. You know, the music business is not some, made up fairy tale, imaginary, business. It's not what you think it is. It's not what you want it to be or what you think it is. It's totally the complete opposite, So, yeah. This is vlog 26. Why you should let FM radio and top blogs come to you. And probably the top influencers too, like the super big influencers that unless you're mainstream, you're never really going to be able to afford, So, and even then when you're mainstream, like Eminem isn't paying the top influencers to break his joint on TikTok. They're just going, a ton of people are just going to take the Eminem record and break it because that's how it works. Because he has a ton of fan base that's so loyal, And without that loyal fan base, what are we talking about here? So don't get caught up in thinking that these top platforms need your music when you're unsigned and up and coming. They don't. If you ain't popular yet, they don't need you on the platform. They might want you, but they don't need you. They only need popular music because popular music is the one that's bringing all the listeners, all the eyeballs, all the viewers. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it construed. Once again, this is Promo Palace LLC, vlog 26. Why you should let FM radio and top blogs come to you. Don't forget to check out my website, promopalace.biz. You see it below me, live on promopalace.biz. For any marketing, advertising of your brand or your music. Don't forget to check out New Litter Apparel, newlitter.com. That's the t-shirts and hoodies for all you dog lovers out there. Don't forget to check out the Dizzle Brand, DizzleBrand.com. I don't got no t-shirt on today of New Little Apparel or Dizzle Brand, but check out DizzleBrand.com. Dizzle Brand Liquor. They got recipes on there. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and whatnot. Website just recently launched along with the social media, so let's try to get people following those. Dizzlebrand.com, newlitter.com, promopalace.biz. You can email me at promopalace1@gmail.com or Paul at promopalace.biz. Once again, hit that click now, subscribe button in the right-hand corner. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, hit that follow. Don't forget the audio version. We'll go to my podcast, the Paul Pickett Podcast, Triple P, Paul Pickett Podcast. You can Google that. It's also Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Deezer, iHeart, TuneIn, Slacker, and dozens of other platforms as well. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is Promo Palace LLC Vlog 26, and I'm out.